What's going on, guys? Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Jeffrey Cooperstein. Just wanted to get with you guys and talk about last night's preseason game against the Los Angeles Clippers. And we have to start out with Klay Thompson because yikes. Klay was 0 of 9 from the field and 0 of 6 from 3 in just 20 minutes last night against the Clippers. And his cold streak is kind of continuing. He was 3 for 5. From 3 in the first preseason game that he played in. And if you go all the way back to his final game with the Warriors where he went 0 for 10, he's all of a sudden in a cold streak from shooting. And I know it's preseason. I know these games don't matter, but is it something to kind of keep in mind and maybe monitor? I don't necessarily think so. I'm not too worried about Klay right now. I don't think Klay Thompson, who I think is the probably second best shooter of all time, I don't think he forgot how to shoot the basketball. I think he's just taking time getting acclimated with his new teammates. He hasn't even played with Luka Doncic yet, and we'll get to this in just a moment, but the Mavericks starting 5 hasn't played 1 second together in the preseason. Now that could change in this final game against Milwaukee Bucks, which, by the way, we'll be doing a watch party for, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that. But they haven't played at all together, so Klay doesn't know exactly what his role is going to be, how everything's going to flow together and whatnot. So it's way too early to be concerned about Klay Thompson shooting, given his track record. I'm not concerned at all, but are you guys concerned about Klay's shooting slump right now? Type Y for yes or type N for no. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, so you may get hit with the YouTube ad break here in just a couple of seconds. And while that happens, go on down there and get your votes and whether or not you think Klay Thompson is in a little bit of a slump and if you're concerned or not. Another guy we have to get to, PJ Washington. He made his preseason debut last night. He's been dealing with hip tightness all throughout the preseason. He, I guess, sustained that in Las Vegas when the Mavs were in training camp. He missed the fan jam. He missed the first 2 preseason games. He comes back with 10 points, 3 boards, and 3 steals in limited action last night. No concern over there about PJ. We were saying last night he might play against the Clippers. Turned out that he did. I think he's going to play against Milwaukee again, getting up close to normal regular season rotation minutes. So good to see PJ back. It seems like the team's finally getting some health now. With PJ back, hopefully Luka's coming back soon. We know Luka participated in 3-on-3 practice before they went out to LA. We'll see if that ramps up this week into full contact and into the game on Thursday against the Milwaukee Bucks. Another guy I wanted to shout out was Quentin Grimes. I really like what I'm seeing from Grimes, man. QG has been a great addition to this team. He had 20 points and 4 boards, 3 of 7 from 3 in 22 minutes, and I just like what I'm seeing. I think he's going to be a connector, a glue guy that really fits wherever Jason Kidd wants to put him in the rotation. It's going to be a little like Dante Exum, where he's just a bit of a connector. He connects the front court to the back court, and he's the one that's going to be on defense as well, guarding multiple positions, being able to switch and whatnot. I really like what Grimes is doing for this team, and he's carving out a role for himself. Could there be nights where Grimes is in the starting lineup? I think there could be. I think he could take the role of whether if Luka or Kyrie are sitting on the second night of a back-to-back, or you have, or you want to play a bit smaller, you could throw Grimes in there, and I don't think this team would miss a beat. So really like what I'm seeing from Quentin Grimes. Jaden Hardy, we all know what Jaden Hardy can do. He can score the rock at an extremely high level. Can he take the next step in being a point guard? That's where Jaden Hardy has to work. I believe he had more turnovers than assists last night, so his PG skills certainly need refining. And if Dante Exum's going to be out for a while, they're going to need Hardy to play some of those point guard minutes, man, because look, I think Spencer Dinwiddie's going to do it. I have concerns about Dinwiddie as well, and his spot in this rotation. We know that when Dinwiddie was here, in the 76 games that he played for the Mavs, that was by far the best basketball of his career. Will he be able to continue that, and will that translate into this year's team where he's going to be dealing with Luka, with Kyrie, with other guys who need the ball like Najee Marshall, etc.? I'm not sure that Dinwiddie is a great fit. You're going to see him starting point guard on some nights too. So I don't know, man. I think Hardy needs to step up his point guard skills if he wants to carve out a role on this team as well. We know he can score at a high level. Jason Kidd values that. But what Kidd really values is defense. And if Hardy can take the next step on defense, he may usurp Spencer Dinwiddie in that pecking order. So very curious to see what Kidd does with that. Hardy still certainly has a lot of work to do. Before we get going with the rest of the show, I do need to tell you guys about our proud sponsor, which of course is PrizePicks. If you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS, they'll give you a free $50 when you place a $5 lineup. PrizePicks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And unlike other apps on PrizePicks, it's just you against the numbers. You can now win up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. PrizePicks puts its members first, so withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus, so you just need to play that lineup. It is guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday. PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. It's the best way to win real money this basketball season. Which players are going to go off, which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on PrizePicks. And here I have some season-long stat projections for NBA here. I'm going to go with the more on Luka Doncic, 31.9 points. I'll also take the more on Steph Curry, 27.6 points. And indeed, the more on Victor Wembanyama, 24.0 points. I love these picks, man. You can either ride me or you can fade me. Just make sure you do it with our friends at PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and use the code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. PrizePicks, run your game. Another guy that he needs to step up if he wants to even make the team is Brandon Williams. Williams made his preseason debut. He was dealing with some injuries. He's obviously on that two-way contract, and we've talked about he's competing with Jazz Gortman for that spot. And I know Brandon Williams has the two-way contract right now, but that doesn't mean that the Mavs could pivot to Gortman if they like what they see more. Williams had 9 points and 2 assists in 18 minutes. And as of right now, guys, I honestly think he's on the outside looking in here. I just don't believe that they want to keep Williams over Gortman. Gortman was in the summer league. He played in all those games. It looks like he has some skills that Brandon Williams maybe doesn't. I know Williams was with the Mavs last year, and maybe that gives him a little bit of an edge, but I think Gortman's really playing hard and is trying to make this as difficult of a decision as possible on the Mavericks front office. He had another 13 points and 3 of 5 from 3 in 28 minutes. I think he's making an impression on Jason Kidd and this coaching staff to where he might get that final two-way spot. And yeah, that does mean he's going to spend a lot of time down in Frisco with the legends, but man, I've loved what I've seen from Jazz Gortman ever since the summer, and I hope he's a part of this Mavs thing going forward. Even if he's not one of the two-way guys, I really think they should try to get him down in Frisco so he's at least a part of the organization. And of course, the dress rehearsal is on Thursday against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Mavs and the Bucks will do battle at the American Airlines Center. It's a 6:30 tip, so a little early tip here in Dallas. And Jason Kidd has said this is going to be the game where the guys in the preseason are going to play as close as possible to their regular season minutes. Now, they may not play into the fourth quarter, but they certainly will play into the second half. So if Luka plays, I think you'll see him go into the second half. You'll certainly see guys like PJ Washington and Klay and Dereck Lively all go into the second half as well. So if you're going out there, should be a fun game to go to, even though it's preseason, because you'll get to see those guys for the majority of the game. And I did mention this a little bit earlier. I have a slight concern that the starting five hasn't played together at all. They've done some in scrimmage and practice, but not in a game setting. So I'm hoping on Thursday they can really get this thing going where you have Luka, Kyrie, Klay, PJ Washington, and Dereck Lively on the court at all times. It's gonna be crucial to this team's success going forward, because there are going to be nights where guys are sitting out and where guys have minutes restrictions and whatnot. They need to see what this starting lineup looks like, I think, as early and as often as possible. Because once you get down to the nitty-gritty, once you get into April and May, there's no time for chemistry. You got to be ready, you got to be willing, and you got to be rearing to go. So I want to see them get this lineup and get them playing early and often here in the 2024-25 season. The preseason finale on Thursday, we will be live and doing a watch party for that. It's Mavericks, it's Bucks. Join us here. Hit that thumbs up icon on today's show and let me know if you guys are going to be there for the Mavericks versus Bucks game, hanging out with me. We'll just be talking Mavs ball, chopping it up, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon here on Mavericks Today. We'll have another video out for you guys tomorrow. See ya.